topic is little with the taboos as per the Indian culture, our own precious culture. Adolescent sexuality to spirituality. It is a n- non-verbal, verbal to non-verbal communication. When you reach at the peak, it is a non-verbal communication. My pious country. Yes, please. नहीं दिख नहीं रहा है कुछ भी. Yes.
सर दिख
हाँ
रहा है.
अभी दिख गया. India, ancient India was a land of educated people. ज्ञान युग था. Learning was through Gurukul system as observant was Vedic साक्षी भाव से सिखाते थे. अभी ब्लैक बोर्ड चलता है, वहां पे सामने बैठ के फिजिकली आंखों से आंखों में देख के समझाते थे. हर चीज समझ में आती थी. आंखों से देख के समझ में आ जाता था कि हमारा टीचर, हमारा गुरु हमको क्या कह रहा है. The Vedas are the oldest teaching in India, though the transmission of these teaching was mainly oral until around the 5th century. Motto was to enhance knowledge, which was highly focused on the aspect of life, even the sexuality. That is the Indian philosophy. In present era, we all much qualified. हमको सिर्फ डिग्री मिली है जो कि हमको एक कागज में लपेट के दे दी जाती है. शिक्षा नहीं मिली है, सिर्फ डिग्री मिल रही है. डील विद द लाइफ एस्पेक्ट एंड दैट शुड द एविडेंस बेस्ड. हर चीज के बोलते हैं कि इसका प्रूफ क्या है. इवन राजनीति में भी देखिए, हर चीज का प्रूफ मोदी जी से भी मांगा जाता है कि क्या प्रूफ है. तो ऐसा दिस इज विज्ञान युग. पहला था हमारा ज्ञान युग और हम अब विज्ञान युग पे आ गए. नेक्स्ट प्लीज. Sexuality in the life. Education about sexuality is often held as taboo in Indian culture since in Victorian era. Sex education in India is poorly implemented. Today it is clearly at the crossroad. बच्चों को समझ में नहीं आ रहा कि किस रास्ते पे जाएं हम, क्या सही है और क्या गलत है. अपन आज देखिए, आप पूरा एमपी और पूरा इंडिया, इट हैज बिकम एन एजुकेशनल हब. लड़के लड़कियां सड़क पे खड़े रह के क्या कर रहे हैं, रोजमर्रा की बात हो गई, कुछ कहने की वाली बात नहीं रह गई. Imparting such education is both an science and an art. Need the educated to be properly trained. क्लास में बच्चों को जब बायोलॉजी क्लास होती है तो टीचर बोल देती है ये आप अपनी मम्मी से पूछ लेना. लड़कों को बोल देती है अपने पापा से पूछ लेना. They hide the thing. They are afraid of talking. There is a huge unmet need in the sex education in India among the youth to keep the pace with the age in the information technology. Everything is available on this stupid net. Effective sexuality education can provide age-appropriate, culturally relevant, and scientific accurate information that only can be given by the gatekeepers of the society. When I talk about the gatekeeper of the society, that means we, adolescent physician, pediatrician, teachers, and the parents, and the social leaders, even the spiritual leader should talk about it. Next. Education about sex education has many purposes. On the surface, it offers physical pleasure, release, and that is not at all. Sex can also, parents can connect emotionally, building intimacy and a trust. Some people view sex as a spiritual one too. Spiritual sex that leads to a deeper spiritually fulfilling connection with the partner. Spiritual sex study shows that people who self-identified as spiritual may be more likely to have sex frequently. They are also in jail. Atomic sex. Next. Atomic sex. Please click. Please click. There is a big question. Is there any divine truth behind the sex? We see sex exists at many levels. Physical level, we are all aware of it. Definitely there is a law of attraction which operates. It's one of the first stimulus. It does exist purely physical body coming close to each other. There is a physical component in the sexuality. Apart from this, physically, there is a nervous element in the sexuality that is called a sexual itch. An itching sensation in those parts very physically, which brings up the whole cascade of event and bring up the whole thing again back to the forefront. Next, sexuality and spirituality. It is a one river and the two streams. It is a, it is binded to each other. They are like brother sister or a husband wife. The flow of energy that connects us is amplified when we honor our bodies and the bodies of the other. That means we should respect the other person who is cooperating with you. Exploring and expressing sexuality is a spiritual process that deepens relationship with others. Sexuality as a central aspect of being human throughout the life. Sexuality is regarded as a normal, universal force expressing itself through countless forms, which Dr. Poonam has already explained to you. Sexuality encompasses sex. Please, next.
Next.
Sexuality encompasses sex, gender identity, roles, sexual orientation, eroticism, pleasure, intimacy, and the reproduction. That is the last phase. Next, sexual health. Family life education. When we go to the school authority, they do not permit us to talk on the sexuality. But I may tell you, when we were doing Mission Kishore Idoy in 2013, 11 years ago, 85% plus children used to ask about the sexuality question. So we talk about the family life education in respect of sexuality education. Teaches us the role and responsibility of male and female towards each other in all relationships. Public discussion of topics of sexual nature are widely considered as taboo in the Indian society. 9 Indian states have banned in school, including Madhya Pradesh. The traditional Indian psyche will need to be appropriately tentatively with the psychological insight when challenged. Sex is very normal, natural, healthy phenomena. Sex is a procreation changes to sex for recreation. Next. What is the trend in the India? This is the all picture you see on the roadside, including the premarital sex, which has become a living relationship now in India. Next. Modern Kama Sutra pornography. When you don't teach your children about the sex, definitely they will go for the pornography. What is Swatishthan Chakra? Our elders, our seniors, our ancestors have taught us about the chakra in the yoga and dhyan and meditation. It governs both reproductive organ and imagination. It is a stimulus through the pornography and act in two ways. Creative for society, expansion of family. Destructive as a male cannot control themselves, so act in two ways. Masturbation, abstinence, rape, it is a female who should care and save themselves with the extant life skill, which Dr. Poonam and Dr. Pyali has already talked about it. Next. Age of losing virginity. In 16 to 20 years, 83% loses virginity. When I was talking in one of the college in Bhopal, I asked what is the virginity. The one of the students say it is a loss of opportunity. It is lack of opportunity. The things the children know so much about it, and we are afraid. We are scared of talking about it as parents, as a teacher, as a gatekeeper. What is the rape cases in India? It is from 12 to 16 year maximum rape, or 30% of the victims are children. And it was the study of 2017. Next. Need of hour. It will decrease the negative hazards of sexual behavior like unwanted, unplanned pregnancy or infections. It will enhance the value of relationship and decision making with the opposite gender. It will eradicate the lack of knowledge and create high attitude in adolescents. 300 million youth from 12 to 24 years are revealing their mounting preferences for premarital sex, and they are living in the relationship. Shatter the silence and take care. 53% of children in India are sexually abused. 72% of these children do not talk about it and suffer in silence has been shown in one of the show on the TV when a male 21-year-old person declared that from last so many years he has been abused. The majority of these children have been abused by people known to them. हम हमारे घर में भी सुरक्षित नहीं हैं. 64% of incest survivors were abused between the age of 10 to 18 years. 32% incest survivors were abused between the age of 2 to 10 years. 87% of incest survivors were abused repeatedly. 19% of abused were currently living with at least one of the abuser. Next. Anushka, a known sitar vadak Pandit Ravi Shankar ki beti, she says that she was also abused. Status of Indian adolescent. 0.5% teenagers of get information from parents, while 67.5% get from media and internet. That's the stage of fear. 42% of students got their first dose of sex related to information from 11 to 15 years of age. 6 Indian states survey shows that premarital relationship is by the 15 years. Children are getting hooked by pornography from class 9 onward, even in the school premises, and has gone a big issue in the school authority was shown in one of the TV show. Why sexual education is important? Adolescents are exposed to great deal of information from social media or from the friends. They need to learn facts from the human sexuality is a need of the time. Teenagers are hungry for accurate and adequate information. Sexual expression is a basic instinct and a need for the future life. Why sexual education is important? One of the fifth world population is between 10 to 19 years. Age of puberty has decreased because of the better nutrition in our own country. Age of marriage has been increased. They face long gap between the two. 35-40 साल की लड़कियां भी आज कुआरी बैठी हैं सिर्फ because they are financially well off. They do not want to get married. Young people indulge in sexuality earlier in life, not aware of the consequences of their behavior. Next, sexual feelings. Everyone has a Everyone has a sexual feeling as they mature. They are sexually attracted to one or other people. Recognizing sexual feeling in which gatekeepers can help teenager. You should be willing to discuss the power of sexual feeling and difference between feeling and the act. Good time to talk. When should you talk about it? There is no magic number in the term of age, but between the 9 to 12 year, when a girl matured by the 9 year, you need to talk to her. But the girl at the 16 year is not mature. You need to wait for it. Is the best time to consider physical and psychosexual maturation of the child. Body changes are explained. There is an excellent time for a gatekeeper to begin discuss about the values and belief about issues such as dating, relationship, dreams, and premarital sex. They need a reasonable amount of privacy and truth. Sexual feelings are stronger. They are less able to discuss issues straightforward. It's better way to discuss them for talking. Next. Knowledge and equipment won't encourage teens to involve in the premarital sex relationship and stay calm. Don't over romanticize sex like blooming of roses, fireworks, supreme, spiritual. Don't scare your child that you will bleed, it hurts, it's terrible when they are get married. It required today in the premarital counseling is also required in our country. Facts and values. Knowledge and equipment won't encourage. They know want to know fact about sex and values. Facts are facts, same for everyone. Values are different from different people from family to family, depending on cultural heritage. Gatekeeper needs to direct their teen towards the self, should keep them busy with the schoolwork, game, volunteer, and social and spiritual work. Gatekeepers need to direct unconditional love and support. If teenagers do not get love from their parents, they view sex as a way to get it. Best way to keep them away from peer pressure is to raise their self-esteem. Spiritual interconnectedness is associated with the lower likelihood of voluntary sexual activity. आप देखिए अपने बच्चे जो मंदिर मस्जिद गुरुद्वारे में जाते हैं, they are less involved in these type of activities. They are more diverted toward the education. Building self-esteem of the teen. It is important. It has influence on their sexual development and making important decisions. Less likely to be under pressure for unwise choices. One should appreciate their talent, personality, looks, accomplishment without any comparison. Never compare your child with other child. Treat them with the respect. Listen their ideas and feeling. Think about what they say. Don't cut them off when you disagree with them. Self-respect begins with the respect and consideration they receive from you and others. Definitely, you need to respect your children because they are growing. They are जब बोलते हैं ना कि बाप का जूता बेटे के पाँव में आने लगे तो you should talk with the respect rather than scolding him every time. Knowledge and power. Teens have a right to information that protect their reproductive and sexual health. They deserve to be treated with respect. When information and support, they are capable of making responsible decisions. Next. Discuss the right time where your willingness to talk openly about these subjects will make it easier for teen. Male and female body, menstruation, erection, self-stimulation, sexual love, what it is, good touch and a bad touch. Now आजकल तो प्रिंट मीडिया में भी काफी लिखने आ गया है, तो हमारा थोड़ा सा लोड जो है कम हो गया है. Pregnancy, cultural belief and birth control. Next. Teenager need to know desire is one of the joy and wonders of being human, but it takes long time to know how to handle it. Sexuality is a natural part of adolescent, though it does not necessarily mean beginning of sexual activity. And अगर बच्चे ने कुछ पूछा, that doesn't mean that he is involved in it. Any sexual involvement should be by the mutual consent, definitely. Follow teens' need. If the conversation is not in the right direction, even then express your values, fact, but don't lecture them. They don't want any preaching. They want to know what is fact. They need to know about the birth control, supplies, practice and safe sex. हर फैमिली की वैल्यूज अपनी अपनी अलग अलग होती हैं. आपको अपनी फैमिली की वैल्यू आपके बच्चे को बताना है और किसी के और की टीचर को है वो अपने वैल्यू अपनी बताएगी. It is not better to talk about sex if the conversation seems to be too tense and unpleasant for the adolescent. In public place or their friends are there. In the middle of the family argument or crisis. Next. When you are extremely embarrassed or fearful about sex, when you are experiencing sexual problem in your own marriage, when your child refuses to do so or appear extremely nervous. This can be a sign that child is possibly sexually abused. Gently assure him for telling you that I am here, मैं हूं ना. Reassure you still love as before. If they don't ask, don't tell them the silence. Don't let their silence you to talk. अगर वो किसी बारे में बात नहीं कर रहे हैं सेक्सुअलिटी के बारे में, you need to talk as per their proper age. As I told, from 9 to 12 years, you should start talking about it. Show that it is okay to talk about sex issues by talking with you, spouse or other adult. When children are around, see that when it is appropriate. Go to one of their movie, watch one of their TV show, listen to their music. You will come to know what choice they have got, how they are behaving, how they are related to their peer group. This will open the discussion of sex and values. Comment in sex-related event in everyday life. Notice a pregnant friend or a condom, other personal product. It is good to start talking about it. Next. Abstinent a positive approach. When teaching sexuality, accentuate the advantage of dealing sexual intercourse, acknowledging them that the physical intimacy between two loving adults is beautiful and is joyful. Teach them many dating couple decide to practice abstinence rather than regretting in future for the loss of virginity. Best way to avoid sexual pressure is to anticipate and discuss it. Next. Next, Poonam. Teens likely to have sex if they enter puberty early, as they have entered in 9 years. If a child enter in puberty at 9 years, you need to talk. Socialize with the youngster who appropriate and encourage sexual activity. Place little value in education. Have poor relationship with the friends and parents, and with particularly a boy with the father. Rarely attend religious program. Next, role of gatekeepers. What is important? They should talk and affirm as they are primary source of information and guidance. Teens develop to positive, healthy attitude about sex with authentic communication. Positive communication helps to establish individual values and healthy decision. Teen needs to be taught against sexual exploitation, sexual aggression, guilt feeling associated with the feeling of wrongdoing. Advise them to wait for their chance to have sex with the legal partner in future date. Next. What happens when you don't teach the boy about the sex? The other teacher becomes the porn teacher, which is surely conditioning your brain towards unrealistic sexuality, and that is more of a not a normal sex, but it is a erotic sex that is creating problem in our own country. Self-stimulation, you can name so many names. Self-pleasure. The only thing about masturbation is to be it is the beginning of the pleasure. Next, analogy of masturbation offer inside equation of our sexuality, knowing how to love and experience pleasure even just with ourselves. It is inborn skill that is known how to solve algebraic solution equation. It is most common sexual act offer a route to understanding of our own sexual anatomy. Next, masturbation recognizes essential truth that we are sexual being. Next, masturbation continue to carry religious taboo. Masturbation is the only sexual practice that most people can do and enjoy throughout their life. 100% men masturbate, while women 82%. In practice, solo sex and teacher of the both gender. 2007 study shows male masturbation may improve immune system and health of prostate. In women, it builds pelvic floor, muscle, and sensitivity. It is a stress level and a sleep aid. Next, what is sex? Love is vertical and sex is horizontal. Sex is basically means gender, that is male and a female. Sex is normal human response, how it can be taboo. Because of sex, we are all here in this planet. It, it is the difference in the body structure which separates and attract each other. It is also means sex appeal, the attraction that draws male and female in both each other. The sex has both gender, design, and copulative connotation. Next. These are the anatomy, but the next figure is very informative. How you can explain the girls about the female organ. This is a very beautiful presentation. I got it, and I I always show this presentation that how you can show the fallopian tube, vagina, uterus, to enhance next to enhance sex education. Starting sex education at young age can normalize taboo effect. It curbs the spread of misinformation about the sex and sexuality. Com- Comprehensive sex education can decrease cases of sexual abuse, as already Dr. Poonam has explained it. It can also help healthy attitude toward the sex and sexuality. This is a very government of India slide about the AIDS that shows three sockets. The first socket is, I say that it's a premarital sex. The middle is the normal socket. Please click, Poonam. Is a premarital. The next is marital, and the third is, I say that is an extramarital relationship, which is unsatisfied people or powerful people. They are 53% female and 43% in male extramarital relationship in India. Next. Hazards and risk. Sexually transmitted diseases, unintended pregnancy, emotional upset, unplanned parenthood, immature relationship leads to risk, feeling hurt, jealous, a pain of broken heart, and being used. Next, teaching methodology in the schools. Present curriculum is not properly designed. Schools should have counseling facilities for the value-based life skill education to safeguard adolescent. And the best people are counselors, adolescent pediatrician, and pediatrician because they can very well explain to the children physical, emotional, and educational need of the children rather than anybody else. Our own institution of sexuality and spirituality, place of learning sexuality and spirituality, unique monument of the planet. We have got 10 exit in the body. Next, click please. It's a path of opening 10th door of consciousness of spirituality after satisfying 9 exit door blessed to the human beings. In the human sexuality and spirituality, physical aspect, to enjoy beauty is not a sin, but not the cost of someone being discomfort. The mental aspect, giving time, finding happiness in making partner happy. The spiritual aspect, do not hurt someone if possible and do not hurt. Next, अचीविंग स्पिरिचुअलिटी फ्रॉम आवर ओन कल्चर. आप मंदिर जाते हैं, आप देखिए राइट हैंड से पंडित जी जो है दिए को भगवान जी के सामने घुमाते हैं, प्रार्थना करते हैं. तो क्या ब्रेन राइट हैंड से करें तो लेफ्ट ब्रेन जो है वह एक्टिवेट हो जाता है. क्लिक प्लीज. पूनम क्लिक प्लीज. यस, ये है मन की बात. IQ, analytic thought, logic, language, science and maths, speech, reading and writing. When you जब वो पंडित जी घंटी बजाते हैं लेफ्ट हैंड से, तो राइट ब्रेन जो है एक्टिवेट हो जाता है. वो राइट ब्रेन जो है वो दिल की बातें बताता है. होलिस्टिक थॉट, इंट्यूजन, क्रिएटिविटी, आर्ट एंड म्यूजिक, पर्सनालिटी, इम्प्लीमेंटेशन एंड मेमोरी, ये लोग ज्यादातर कवि हृदय होते हैं. क्लिक प्लीज. इको ऑफ द बेल. आप मंदिर जाते हैं, जब घंटी बजाते हैं तो आपको एक अच्छी, अगर 7 चक्र ऑफ द बॉडी, ए वेल डिजाइन बेल कुड आल्सो प्रोड्यूस ओम. अगर आप ध्यान से सुने तो आपको उसमें ओम की आवाज आएगी. वेन आप जब दिया भी घुमा रहे हैं और घंटी भी बजा रहे हैं तो डेफिनेटली दोनों ब्रेन आपके एक्टिवेट हो जाते हैं. दैट स्टिमुलेट द मिड ब्रेन. जब हम मंदिर के बाहर आते हैं तो क्या बोलते हैं? हम बोलते हैं कि आज दर्शन बहुत अच्छे हुए. ऐसे लोग सेक्सुअलिटी में या इरोटिक सेक्स में इन्वॉल्व नहीं होते हैं. दैट इज द थीम ऑफ आवर टेम्पल्स, आवर स्पिरिचुअल प्लेसेस इन इंडिया, which you will never find anywhere in the planet. Sexuality to spirituality. Sexuality and spirituality are interwoven. Sexual energy and excitement generated in the pelvic region to raise psychic energy up. आप ये देखिए, मैंने एरो बनाया है कि यहाँ से चक्र से ऊपर स्वादिष्ठान चक्र तक जा रहा है. व्हेन एक्टिविटी होती है तो ब्रेन जो है ऊपर एक्टिव हो जाता है. Sexual energy and excitement generated in the pelvic region to raise psychic energy up. Sexual energy traveling down through the sacral chakra exit in creation and end phase of sexuality, and while traveling up crown chakra begins to spirituality. It's the through the chakra to the very crown of the head. It enters into union and cosmic organism, and it is a eternally generated by the sexuality play as Hinduism suggests. Next, faith. A set of faith, place of worship, healthy living and safe relationship. Teens need more than role model. Teens need adults who are authentic, one who cares about young people. They live in the real world, and to be comfortable here, they need evolving identity. Teens is a sacral journey from sexuality to spirituality. You are the one to help them in this journey. यौन ही अध्यात्म का एक मार्ग है। तृष्णा छूटे तो कृष्णा मिले, तभी तो हम स्पिरिचुअलिटी पे पहुंचेंगे। रोड मैप ऑफ स्पिरिचुअलिटी. Sex and sexuality is the phase of physical intimacy for the creativity. Spirituality can only be achieved by enjoying and passing through sex and sexuality. Sexuality is a phase of silence, non-verbal phase to the togetherness. Path of spirituality is through yoga, meditation, samarpan. Teens have the personal and inner experience of sexuality to achieve the ultimate goal of spirituality. Teens spirituality is intense due to the experience through the religion, अगर वो मंदिर जा रहे हैं, nature, art, science or love. Teens spiritual dimension is through their humanness, emotion, intelligence and social aspect of life. But what they need the acute help of gatekeepers. Message, job of gatekeepers. I tell before that I will pass one comment. अगर आप जानते हो तो 14 साल का एक बच्चा जो रहता है, he is sexually active. और 14 साल के में महावीर जी ने स्पिरिचुअलिटी की तरफ चले गए थे. So it depends on the parents and the environment the children are getting, whether they are going to the spirituality or the sexuality. It depends definitely on the family environment, family culture, country culture, and the help of the parents. Message, job of the gatekeeper: age appropriate information with the basic fact about the sex and sexuality. They talk less, listen more, and see in their eyes what they are talking about. You will come to know through their eyes. हम बोलते हैं ना, आंखें ही तो आईना है हर इंसान का. अगर आप आंखों में नहीं देख रहे हो बच्चे की और टीवी को देख रहे हो और बच्चे से बात कर रहे हो, तो आप क्या जान पाओगे बच्चों के बारे में. इनकरेज क्वेरीज इन अप्रोप्रिएट टाइम, एंटिसिपेट एंड बी प्रिपेयर्ड, बी नॉन जजमेंटल. अगर उन्होंने सेक्स के बारे में बात करी है, डोंट बी जजमेंटल कि भैया तुम इन्वॉल्व हो गए क्या, कुछ चक्कर चल रहा है क्या आपका. एंड आस्क ओपन एंडेड क्वेश्चन. यूज टीचेबल मोमेंट. जब भी आपको मौका मिले आप उनको सिखाएं. बी ऑनेस्ट व्हेन यू आर टॉकिंग टू योर चिल्ड्रन. क्वेश्चन बिहाइंड क्वेश्चन. एक सवाल पूछोगे तो उसके बाद दूसरा आएगा, दूसरे के बाद तीसरा आएगा, एंड इट विल बी नेवर एंडिंग फिनोमेना. नेक्स्ट प्लीज जस्ट imbibe values whenever possible. नेक्स्ट. बातें गिरा देती हैं फासलों की दीवारें. मैं ये हमेशा कहता हूं, बच्चों से अगर बात ही नहीं करोगे तो ह्यूमन कैसे रह पाओगे. रह ही नहीं पाए, रह ही नहीं सकते. बात इंसान, ईश्वर ने इंसान को एक ही चीज तो दी है, बात करने के लिए. आप कैसी बात करते हैं, आप टंग को कैसे, अपनी जबान को कैसे यूज करते हैं, अपने बच्चों के साथ कैसे बिहेव करते हैं, अपने समाज में कैसे यूज करते हैं उसको, वही आपके रिलेशन बनाते हैं और वही आपके रिलेशन बिगाड़ते हैं. कीप द डिस्कशन ऑन गोइंग. थैंक यू. लाइक दिस ट्रेन शुड नेवर स्टॉप. थैंक यू वेरी मच फॉर इन्वाइटिंग मी.